Okay, this is interesting. So this guy sounds like he's coming back from Colombia. I don't know what airport we're in right now, but based on what the narrator just said, it sounds so he's coming back from Colombia from a short trip. Maybe I think they said he was on a 5-day trip or something. And the reason he got pulled aside for the border agents is because he has a lot of luggage. Okay, so he was on a short trip and he's got a conspicuously large amount of luggage with him. So they decided to pull him aside and check it out. I don't know, I mean, they're saying this guy is shaking like a leaf, he's nervous, he's acting, nervous. I mean, that can be because he's doing something wrong, sure, but it's also intimidating to be interacting with these border officers because they're a little intimidating, and if it's not something that you've ever had to do before, then I understand why you'd be acting nervous. But sometimes they just try to shake you up just to see if you are going to admit to something, but I don't know. So he left the United States on a Friday, he went to Colombia, and he came back on a Sunday, and he's got a lot of luggage. So that's why they are suspicious. Basically, why would you bring so much luggage to only like a 2-day trip? Like, super nervous. He looks pretty calm to me. Like I said, this is an intimidating encounter, so to be criticized like this, that you're nervous, is, I don't know. So this guy, there was nothing wrong here. It was just a little bit of a suspicious situation. They cleared the guy and he checked out fine. This is a really good illustration of, like the officer said, the guy's story made sense. And this is what I tell a lot of my clients, is anytime you're applying for some kind of immigration benefit, whether it's, you're going through the airport like this guy, or you're applying for an immigration benefit with USCIS, or you're applying for a visa at the embassy, if your story doesn't make sense, if it's not coherent, if it's not logical, it just doesn't sound right, odds are that you're going to get denied or you're going to get questioned. And so this guy's story made sense, right? His story about why he had to travel made sense. His answers to the officer's questions were logical. And even though it looked a little suspicious at the beginning, when he started answering the questions, it just made sense. And so that's a really good illustration how to approach these situations. This is almost like, it almost reminds me of a visa interview at an embassy, where they ask you these like rapid fire questions. It's just a short, like 3 to 5 minute interview, and you just got to answer their questions in a way that makes sense to the officer. And if you can do that, the odds are in your favor that you're going to get cleared and get through the process. If you can't answer those questions in a way that just kind of makes sense, that's when you run into problems. You run into denials or RFEs or administrative processing or all kinds of stuff. So this is a good video that I think helps to illustrate that principle.